Dear all, welcome back to the lecture series of business communication. In this session, I'm going to discuss the important process of business communication. Have you ever heard about the important process of communication, or we can call business communication? Okay, so this is one of the most important thing for entire business process. If the communication fails, the entire thing will be getting collapsed. Yes, now let's get started. As you can observe, we have the following process which are involved in the business communication. So we have sender, then encoding process, then there is one message, later decoding, then it reaches to receiver. Then once it is reached, then there will be feedback. In case any uh, disruption is happened, that we call just like a noise. So these are the important processes which are involved in the communication. Now let's get started. Always remember that the communication, the process of business communication or process of communication starts from the sender. The sender is also known as encoder. The sender is the person who start communication. Here you can see the sender is the person who starts doing the communication. He's also known as encoder. They create and send the message. So that's what exactly happening. For example, in a company or in an organization, a boss is asking an employee what to do. He is going to give the instruction. Boss is giving the instruction. That means encoding process will be carrying out. So that is from the sender part. Next is called a message. You can observe here message. The middle portion which I mentioned is called a message. What is message? The message is the idea, information, or feelings the sender wants to share. Now we can see one example. And a boss is saying to the employee that let's meet at 3 p.m. for the project discussion. Okay, that is a message. Okay, you can the message which is already in put in the inverted comma. Let's meet at 3 p.m. for the project update. This is a message where who is going to pass the message? Of course, boss is going to pass the message to subordinate. Now I'll be talking about the channel. The channel is the way the message is sent. That's important. So it can be spoken, or it may be handwritten, or it may be non-verbal, etc. So the channel, major examples of channels are through phone call you can communicate. That is one channel. Through text you can communicate. Of course, email. Also like a face-to-face communication. So these are the channel which the message will be sent. Next part is called a receiver. Can you relocate the receiver? Yes, this is actually called a receiver. That part is actually called a decoder as well. The receiver is the person who gets the message and tries to understand it. For example, an employee is listening to their boss for the instruction. Employee is the subordinate and he is getting the information from the superior and he is going to understand what exactly the message it is. What was the job he is supposed to carry out, right? That is actually called a decoder or receiver. Another important part is called a feedback. Let us relocate. This is your feedback, right? So feedback is very important. Output is connected to input, right? In technically, we can speak. Feedback is the response from the receiver, of course. It shows if they understood the message. For example, I am an employee. My bosses keep on speaking. So he may ask some questions. Sir. Did you understand what he was speaking? Now I am going to say that, yes, sir, I understood what you're talking. In the same fashion, okay, I will do the right way. So that would be the right response. We can say like a feedback, correct? Now, in between, there is one hindrance or disruption that is called a noise. You can observe here. The noise will like mislead or it may break the smooth flow of message. Now, tell me, what is the meaning of noise? It is a hidden disruptor in communication. Noise is anything that interferes with the distort the message during the communication. Of course, that will happen. Even whenever you're talking through over phone call, also like a noise will takes place. It can cause misunderstandings or make the message unclear. The sender fails to convey to the receiver. That will happen if there are noise. Make sure that your communication background should be free from noise. Now, one more thing is called context. Context is the background or situation in which communication takes place. It affects how the messages are understood. That is called context. As we can see, there are different type of context. At the beginning, we can see physical context. Location, like office, party, meeting room, all are generally called physical context. Next context is called social. It may be like a relationship, boss versus friend. Okay. Then husband versus wife. So that like a connectivity, and a father versus son, father versus daughter. That like how they are going to speak. Okay, that is called a social. Chronological. It is mainly based upon timings. It can be like a morning, end of the day, or during the crisis. Another one type of context is cultural. It is basically background, maybe like a language, age, belief, myth, etc. All are actually called a cultural context. So please figure out these are the different type of contexts which are applicable for the process of communication. Let us conclude the session. Today we discussed about the importance of important process which are involved in the communication. And we understood that each part is most important and clear and effective communication. If one part fails, entire message will not reach to the receiver part, and the purpose will not be satisfied. That is the conclusion which I would like to recommend. So if you're watching our channel, I request you to subscribe, share, like, and give the comments for the improvement. Even kindly give the suggestion as well. Your suggestions are very precious for me. Even your support is badly required for me. So kindly request you to subscribe. If you are watching, also I request you to share my channel with the stakeholders. Hope the session is useful. Thank you so much for watching this video. Happy learning. Have a great day. Thank you all.